Hey, Lindsay, how are you?
I'm feeling pretty good today, Michelle. How's everything going for you?
Yeah, everything is going well over here. Lindsay, do you typically follow celebrity gossip?
Oh my God, good question. Sometimes I'm tempted to pick up those magazines in the grocery store, right? But I really don't. I feel like I follow the news a lot, but not really celebrity gossip. Like, I don't know who's married to whom. I can't keep up with it, Michelle.
Yeah. When I was younger, I really loved it. You know,
Yes.
I was really into it. But then as I grew up more and became an adult, I don't really follow it. The only thing is when I'm scrolling through Instagram, you know, these things just pop into my algorithm. And so I'll see kind of the basics and then I don't really click, but I'll know some of the headlines. But a lot of times I don't even know who the people are.
Yeah. The only time I really do is like if I'm in the dentist's office or something and there's like I don't know, what are the celebrity gossip magazines? People magazine is on the table. I'll pick it up, be like, this is total junk, but I'm just gonna read this for fun for the next 5 minutes.
I always used to get People magazine for the for airplanes.
Yeah. Oh, that's
like
fun. Sometimes you just allow yourself a little indulgence, right? I remember reading as a teenager though, like did you read like Tiger Beat, Teen Beat, all those magazines?
I think there was J14.
Okay. Yeah. There were like specific magazines designed for teenagers, more like preteens. YM. Yeah. I used to
Do you
read
remember that? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So I think I also was more into that kind of thing when I was younger.
Yeah. I think it's normal. Yeah. But today we're going to discuss a very trendy line that I've been hearing, and it's often related to celebrity gossip.
Okay.
I like sometimes I'll see it when I said on Instagram, I'll see these headlines. Sometimes it'll see somebody has entered the chat, or in a comment, someone will say, oh, this person has entered the chat. So that's what the phrase is.
Okay.
Blank has entered the chat.
So that is what we're learning today on the show. And I'll be learning from you, Michelle, because I've heard this, but I don't really use it and I don't really know how to use it. So I'm excited to learn from you along with our listeners.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But before we get into that, guys, we want to talk to you about our transcripts.
Yeah, guys, there are 2 ways that you could get the transcripts, and that will enhance your experience a lot. A lot of our listeners have achieved a much higher level of listening skill by listening to All Ears English for a year or 2 by having the transcripts, right? So you can get them delivered to you by email at allearsenglish.com/subscribe, or you can get them on our app where they will show up on your screen as you listen, and then you can tap certain words to get meanings, save them to your personal power list. And that is at allearsenglish.com/app. All right.
Love it.
Great.
Yeah, those are really great. Okay, so what in the world does that mean? Someone has entered the chat.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. So I had a basic understanding of what it meant, but I did check in the dictionary. So this is, I'm just going to quote it from the dictionary from Merriam-Webster. It says, somebody has entered the chat is an idiom used to make note of the sudden appearance of a person or topic. It also serves as a way of drawing attention to something that might contradict a statement made in online discourse.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So it sounds like, just to sum this up, what I'm getting here is it's just like someone's making an appearance. Someone is appearing. Someone is making a bit of a splash. Like they're entering something, right? They're coming into the conversation in some way. Right.
And now I'm just looking, it says that this originates from instant messaging and later kind of evolved about, that you suddenly join a conversation, a situation, and is, some sort of shift. That's what I'm looking at online and more research. But I came up with this because I heard it twice. In more of the way about like somebody is with the online discourse, right? So somebody's contradicting something. So I've seen it twice about celebrities. One was about some feud between some celebrity moms. One woman had mentioned information about a toxic mom group and how she didn't feel included. And then the others responded, and the headlines were using things like, this person has entered the chat, right? It's like,
Okay.
oh, now it's almost like firing back, right? Now they're
Right.
going to tell their story.
So does it kind of mean that that person has a hot take on the topic that everyone else agrees on? Is that kind of what it's saying? Or no, am I getting that wrong?
It's not necessarily that everybody else agrees on
Okay.
it. I mean, it's kind of this one mom's word against another.
Okay.
So here it's just, actually one of their husbands, I think, even started defending his wife. And so they said, somebody's husband has entered the chat.
So it's just that they're all talking, maybe debating. It's not about the opinions. It's about that the person is now participating in this conversation. Yeah.
True. And maybe I to be honest, I didn't read what they said, what they entered the chat with, because I'm not interested. But like it's this idea that they're kind of speaking their piece.
Okay. Okay.
And so that from their perspective, maybe I have a feeling he was defending his wife, so it went against the other one, right?
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. I mean, I definitely have heard this, so I'm glad that we can kind of chip away at learning what this means here today, right?
Right. I also there was a celebrity son. I mean, it doesn't matter if I say the celebrity, right?
I don't think so. Yeah. you should be
Okay. Victoria and David Beckham.
Okay.
Apparently their son revealed information about, being bad things about his parents, and he doesn't like them. That's the whole thing. And I saw a response from someone, and the headline that they also used was, somebody has entered the chat. It was like somebody who worked for the family has entered the chat. So they're going to say their perspective, their point of view.
Okay. So basically, in a nutshell, where it means that someone has entered the conversation.
Yes.
Has entered the discussion. That's all it means, right? It's not more complicated than that. Okay. Excellent.
Yeah. Right. It's not complicated. I just think it's an interesting language trend.
Yeah.
And I actually see it more written than spoken, like in these headlines. I don't really hear people say it. Oh, she's entered the chat.
Right.
But it is possible.
Yeah. I mean, most of this gossiping or arguing or debating happens online through social media channels, right? So it makes sense that it's written. Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So any other contexts we might use it in? This is interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is kind of a play on it. So, because the dictionary said that it could be the sudden appearance of a person or a topic.
Okay.
So, this is more about just having something be relevant all of a sudden, perhaps changing the tone, the mood. So this is kind of playing off of it, that I read some people use this in this kind of way. So
this is fun.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
If you don't spend all your time, if you're not a celebrity gossip person either, you're not going to be reading those updates. So there's other ways to use this that are actually more interesting. Right,
that you can play with it, because that's what happens a lot of times with these trendy expressions. You might not have the exact way to use it, but then you can play with it and show that you know it and you're making it your own.
Yeah. So, for example, reality has entered the chat. I love that.
Yeah.
This is the same thing as saying, "Ooh, reality check." Right. So maybe we'll have some context in a role play here. But if you realize that, you have these dreams and you want to do this and this and this, and then you realize there are certain things that are going to hold you back from those things. Reality has entered the chat, right? You got to pay your rent.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, that's a big one. Or boy drama has entered the chat. So I'm imagining, if you have like teenage a teenage daughter or something, you might say to your friend, "Oh gosh, she came home and she has all this boy drama." It's like, "Oh, this is starting. Oh, we're starting with this."
Maybe you're noticing it for the first time. Sure. Yeah. That's interesting. Or my hunger has entered the chat. Even more interesting. If you're the kind of person that gets hangry, hungry, angry, right? Love that term.
Yep.
That's a thing. And sometimes you might just be like, "We need to go eat. My hunger has entered the chat." Okay.
Right. Exactly. So you can be humorous about it, guys. Yeah. That's the thing with these expressions. They're slang, and so you can and you should play with them, I think.
Yeah.
Because it might, it will probably make somebody laugh, right?
I
Or
think
just
so.
identify with you. Yeah.
It's creativity in language, right? This is where
Yes.
connection comes from. And it comes from that moment of laughter when they see what you've done. You've taken I don't know, a gossipy term and you've applied it to something more creative than that. That's really, really fun. And that's very high level as well, right?
Exactly. But there are other things that we can say.
Sure.
So one of them is plot twist.
Right. So, for example, plot twist, my friend responded and she's not happy. It's again when things take a 180 turn, things change, something changes the circumstances and the whole thing changes. Right. Yes.
Or here we go, right? So like, here we go. The drama is starting.
Yeah. This kind of signifies that you maybe expected that to happen. Like eventually it was going to happen if you put these two people together, but then it's actually starting now.
Right. Exactly. So again, enter the chat, actually saying somebody has entered the chat. I do think it's mostly written in this celebrity gossipy kind of way, but that's why it can be used as a joke.
Very cool.
And you can have fun with it. So let's show how these look like in how these look in a role play.
Okay. So here we are, friends on the phone. Here we go.
Okay. Did you hear the latest about Sydney Sweeney?
I know. Plot twist. Ariana Grande was also involved.
Here we go. Drama.
Oh, wow. They just wrote that her manager commented. It says, Ricky Jilt has entered the chat.
Ooh, this is getting juicy.
I don't even know what that whole thing was with Sydney Sweeney. I just couldn't keep up. I just can't keep up with this stuff. Michelle.
Oh, I don't know.
Obviously.
This has nothing. I made a
Okay.
total.
Okay.
No. This
We
all
just
is all
grabbed
made up.
Random names.
Yeah, I just chose
Love
names
it.
and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
This is not real. But yes, there's always drama about all of these
Always
people.
drama.
I don't know.
I couldn't imagine. I think it would be hard being famous. You know, people talking about you and. Geez, no, thank you.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. All right. So I said, did you hear the latest about Sydney Sweeney? And then you said, I know, plot twist. So it was some sort of surprise, and Ariana Grande was also involved.
So the plot twist is the fact that Ariana Grande said something or contributed to the conversation.
Oh my goodness. Yes.
Okay, got it. And then I said, here we go. Drama. Now, when I say here we go, I'm saying I would expect there to be drama now, right? This is not unexpected, right?
Right. Yes. And then you were commenting on something that you are reading online. So it said, oh, wow, they just wrote that her manager comment. It says Ricky Jilt has entered the chat. So maybe you saw that on a meme or whatever it may be, but he's saying his piece.
Yeah, love it. Interesting. All right. So even if you don't have time for celebrity gossip like us, this is actually a super interesting episode because we're giving you guys, especially at the C1, C2 level, ways to take a phrase that is popular out in the world and reapply it in a metaphorical way that shows your creativity and your sense of humor and you're just being articulate. Right?
Yeah.
This is really cool, actually. Yeah, really cool.
Yeah, definitely a fun one. So guys, head on over, check out episode 2573. Is this episode a slap on the wrist?
Yep. And that's kind of the takeaway, what we just said. Is there anything else? This, creativity builds connection, humor builds connection, Michelle. I mean, use this in a way that fits with your own personality. Especially, I love the examples, my hunger has entered the chat.
Right, exactly. Like, so Lindsay, for example, we talked about now taking a break after this episode.
Yes.
I could say, all right, my hunger has entered the chat. I'm going to get a snack, right?
Yeah,
Something
cute.
like that.
Very cute, right? I like it.
Thank you.
That's creativity right there, guys. We want to show you, because I know for a lot of our listeners, Michelle, we've talked to a lot of them in the last few weeks. One of the challenges is being yourself in English. And this is a stepping stone to getting there, right? How do we be ourself in English? If this is you, if this is who you are, then use it.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Love it.
All right. So good. All right, Michelle, you have a good rest of your day, okay?
All right, Lindsay, have a good one.
Talk
And
soon.
I'll talk to you later.
All right, bye.